Hey folks, it's Sam once again, and welcome back to another review. And this is thanks to a nice guy named Cody, Lane618, who had sent me this film, Rear Window. Which this was actually nice to see because I had seen a lot of films that took notice from Rear Window. And a lot of those films I enjoyed because I enjoyed Disturbia, which was sort of Rear Window for teenagers. Mimic 3, which I did like Mimic 3. It's a lot better than Mimic 2. I like Mimic 3 because I liked that it was a Rear Window type of story, but using the Mimic storyline. I love Road Games with Stacy Keach and Jamie Lee Curtis. That was pretty much a Rear Window, but in a moving vehicle in Australia. Love Road Games. Abominable, that was a film with a guy played by Matt McCoy who was in a wheelchair out in this cabin in the woods, and you're dealing with a Bigfoot type of creature. And I mean, it's called Abominable, and that had a Rear Window stuff to it. I love that motif. No, I have not seen the remake with Christopher Reeve. Maybe one day down the road. But I thought Rear Window, they did a good job. I thought it was nice to see the original after seeing all of the takes on it. And I just say I enjoyed this film. I liked this film. I can easily say this is one of my favorite Alfred Hitchcock films. This and The Birds. I would say The Birds is number 1, and this is a close number 2. I thought Jimmy Stewart did a great job in this role. Grace Kelly was beautiful and actually a pretty decent actress. But I would say Grace Kelly, some of the scenes that the way Hitchcock shot her and her coming to camera made her look just absolutely beautiful. If someone asks if you name what's the most beautiful woman you've seen on screen, I might have to say Grace Kelly in this movie because she was absolutely gorgeous in this movie. And what's nice is actually has a pretty good documentary, Rear Window Ethics, Remembering and Restoring a Hitchcock Classic, as well as a few other features, part of this collection. I mean, the story, when professional photographer Jeff Jeffries, James Stewart, is confined to a wheelchair with a broken leg, he becomes obsessed with watching the private dramas of his neighbors play out across the courtyard. And that's actually an interesting way Hitchcock doing it without words. You just see him sleeping, he has a broken leg in a wheelchair, and then going to a picture he took of a racetrack, and it looks like a car coming towards him, and then other pictures, so you get and a broken camera, so you get the idea that doesn't have to explain it, you could piece it together yourself. And also a picture of this woman on this magazine, which is Grace Kelly, which he probably took that picture. And of course you have this thing where Jimmy Stewart wants to keep doing his job, and Grace Kelly's like, well, you know what, you could work at the fashion magazine that I'm at. And I'm thinking, Jimmy Stewart, it's Grace. Look at this girl. Look how this girl looks. Just say yes and do whatever the hell she wants. But I'm like, why are you saying no, Jimmy Stewart? It's fucking Grace Kelly. I'll be like, yes, ma'am. As long as you sit on my face, I'll photograph you for magazines for forever. But yeah, I know, dirty 30. But I mean. And then, like, him watching the people, it's like there's this woman who's very lonely, and you have this other woman who seems very, I don't know if you would call sexual. I would say she's, I wouldn't say sexual, more of like, he's a dancer and revealing in clothing as much as you can back in 1954. Yeah, this couple have this dog up above. You have this newlyweds who pull the shade down, and you can guess what they're probably doing. And you have this sort of guy who seems like he has a dominating wife, and the guy is actually played by Raymond Burr. I went, Raymond Burr? Holy shit, like the guy from the American version of Godzilla, King of the Monsters, it's called, and Godzilla 1985. That Raymond Burr is the villain in this movie. I'm like, holy shit, the guy from the American version of the original Godzilla and the American version of Godzilla 1985. From Godzilla King of the Monsters in Godzilla 1985, the Raymond Burr. That Raymond Burr is the villain in this. I never realized that before I popped this disc in. I'm like, God, that guy sounds familiar. Wait a minute, oh shit, that's Raymond Burr. And you also have like a guy playing a piano, who I think the guy playing the piano is the guy who created the Chipmunks. Dave Seville, like the guy who became the character Dave Seville, like he created the Chipmunks. I believe, I could be wrong, I believe the guy playing the piano is that guy. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Let me check real quick. Ross Bagdasarian. Ross Bagdasarian. He was better known by the stage name David Seville, and he was the creator of Alvin and the Chipmunks. So yeah, the creator of Alvin and the Chipmunks is the guy playing the piano in this, which I thought, again, kind of pretty interesting. Fun to see. I think that's actually where Hitchcock has his cameo, is during one of those scenes with the guy playing the piano, the songwriter. It pretty much... Oh, another one I didn't mention. I was talking about films that are like Rear Window. The original Fright Night. Love the original Fright Night. The beginning part of that has a bit of a Rear Window. At least the first third of the movie has a little bit of a Rear Window vibe to it. But then he hears this glass break and someone says, "Don't." And pretty much throughout, he keeps seeing this neighbor doing weird things, like going out late at night and carrying the suitcase, and then the woman's not there, and then, you know, it's like he's digging in the garden, and the dog keeps barking at the Raymond Burr's character, and later on, the dog is found dead with his neck broken. He asks, you know, this guy who's a cop, who I thought he did a good job too, Wendell Corey. I thought the acting was good throughout. I think everyone did their job well. And he has some little bit of fun back and forth between him and Jimmy Stewart. And of course, he doesn't believe Jimmy Stewart. And I thought Jimmy Stewart did a great job, you know, just trying to get someone to believe him. And then Grace Kelly starts to believe him, and then she starts helping out. I like that idea as well, because it's not Grace Kelly being a nagging, "Oh yeah, you're full of shit," like they once say, because it's the 50s, but you're full of shit. No, they don't do that. I thought it was nice that she started believing him. Maybe at first to, you know, sort of bridge a gap between them, but I thought it was nice that, you know, he was a beautiful girl, good actress, but also she wasn't a nagging bitch. She was so helping him out, and also sort of to show that she can be a little bit adventurous as well. And pretty much, I like pretty much the entire film is from Jimmy Stewart's home. Like, you don't really ever step out of Jimmy Stewart's home, which I thought was interesting. And the way it was filmed, I mean, from what I understand, how was it? That Jimmy Stewart's place was the floor of the studio, and then all the stuff here was like they took it out and used the basement. Think of Jimmy Stewart's place here, and then the studio, here's the basement, so they cleaned up the basement, they used all that and build like this entire neighborhood inside a studio. And it made so that Hitchcock can have some really cool shots, the way it's all filmed and the way that Jimmy Stewart's right there and he can actually see everything there. And I thought the movie kept going at a good pace. I always... I don't know if I say always, but usually with this kind of plot, it just keeps me interested. I don't know if that makes me a voyeur. I just like watching people. But I just like the idea of a character being stuck in one place for some reason. Either because he's in a wheelchair, or, you know, he's a truck driver and, you know, that's his job, or In Mimic 3, like, the guy is very sick, almost like a boy in the bubble type of sick, so he can't leave. I always like the, of course, Jimmy Stewart, his leg is broken. The fact that they're stuck in this one place, and this whole world is enveloping and coming up in front of them. And in a way, they can't go anywhere. They just using these pieces here to, so you as the viewer are in the same spot as your main protagonist. What does that mean? What did that part mean? That's what they're doing. Wonder what they're doing. Yeah, I mean, think about it. There are times where I've been, once in a while when I go on a long trip, where you look at someone driving in a car and you go, I wonder what they're doing. I wonder what their life is. I wonder, what's going on, where they're going, where they've been, that sort of curiosity. I think it's that curiosity where, you're trapped in one place and you're seeing this world, and it's also a mystery. Like, what's going on? What's that? What's that? I don't know what it is. It's that I thought it was a great idea that a lot of films took from Rear Window, and I think it's a great, I don't want to say genre, but it's a gimmick. It's a great gimmick. The idea, the one person being stuck in a place, or they're in this one thing, and they're watching from the outside, and they're observing from the outside, and then, because usually what happens is that outside all of a sudden comes into where they're at right now, and you're on the outside, and then it just leaks into their life, and all, because of course by the end they gotta be in danger, and where you think is safe is not safe anymore, with the final confrontation between Jimmy Stewart and Raymond Burr. Which, again, interesting stuff that Hitchcock does. Like, Jimmy Stewart uses the flashes, and when it flashes, it blinds the guy, and the screen goes like this red, and then it dissipates, kind of like if you were blinded. Which, again, little interesting stuff like that, ideas. And then you almost kind of, at least for me, you're kind of like Jimmy Stewart, and you're kind of like, oh, there's that girl who's a dancer, and okay, that's what's going on with that girl. Oh, that girl's lonely, and oh no, she might commit suicide. You're almost like in Jimmy Stewart's shoes, and seeing, getting pulled in to see what these people are doing next. And also, it's almost like you're trying to solve the mystery with Jimmy Stewart. I think that's another thing, when you're kind of with the protagonist, because you're seeing what they're seeing, in a way you're hearing what they're hearing for the most part. I mean, once in a while Hitchcock does something where, like, we the audience see it, but Jimmy Stewart didn't see it. But it's always from within the inside of that room that Jimmy Stewart's in. Again, I think that is for the most part, you're on the same page as your lead character. So, in a way, you know what they know. Again, for the majority, you know as much as they know. And you're trying to solve it as much as they're trying to solve it, and trying to piece it together. Well, maybe it's this and this. I mean, again, a lot of these movies I enjoy. I enjoy Disturbia, Road Games, Fright Night, the original Fright Night. I can't think of one that did this and I didn't like, now that I think about it. Because the Fright Night remake didn't even attempt that. Which, hell, if you don't remake it, why don't you just do it from the whole film be like Rear Window, but with a vampire? Hell, if you don't remake Fright Night, the beginning part of Fright Night was Rear Window, why don't you just have the whole movie like that? But then, if you want to do a fucking Disturbia, which once in a while it seemed like they want to do, I swear I heard one of them mention fucking in the making of, or whatever the hell it was, I don't know. Why don't you just go that route then? But hey, what do I know? They tried. Well, they fucked up with the remake. I don't think they even attempted in the remake of Fright Night. And there's a lot of reasons why that film sucks. But even the woman who sort of once in a while comes by Jimmy Stewart, sort of helping with physical therapy. I thought Thelma Ritter, I believe is her name. I thought she was pretty funny at times. Like when Jimmy Stewart's trying to eat and she's describing, oh, I bet he killed her in the bathroom. And like Jimmy Stewart's trying to eat, yeah, you know, and he's clean. Like just the way she's describing it, and Jimmy Stewart's trying to eat, and all of a sudden loses appetite because of it. And I thought Jimmy Stewart did a great job. James Stewart, Jimmy Stewart. I would say this is of the. I haven't seen tons of stuff with Jimmy Stewart, but of the stuff I've seen, I would definitely say this is my favorite role of his. And just the idea. The idea works. The way Hitchcock filmed it, the way it was all shot in the studio, and the way it looks is well done. Grace Kelly is beautiful. Like her reveal where Hitchcock sort of pushes the camera on her, and just one of those like looks like an angel type of looks, Grace Kelly. And again, she's not. Hey, a beautiful girl. You just say a hot girl who can act. Great. Take that, Megan Fox. A lot of people can call you hot, but you can't act for shit. This is a girl who's hot and can act. And her name is Grace Kelly. So there you go. It can happen. It's not impossible to have a... Of course, you know, that's if you think Megan Fox looks good. And if not, well, then she sucks both ways. Well, 3 ways, and you know the third way of sucking. But Michael Bay's dick. But, which I remember one time Michael Bay wanted to remake The Birds, now that I mentioned Michael Bay and talking about Hitchcock. Hopefully that'll never happen, because fuck that. But again, I know there was a remake of this that Christopher Reeve had done. Something I gotta check out one day down the road. Not anytime soon, but one day down the road. But, God, one more. What can I say about Rear Window? It's a film that's garnered a classic. This I can understand, not Vertigo. Vertigo, I'm sorry, everything I say in that review, I mean. I do not like Vertigo at all. Rear Window, I can believe is a classic. And I never got bored. I was always interested. I liked the characters. I thought the acting was really good. I liked the idea, which started from this. I don't know if there were films before this that did that, but if there are, I don't know about it, but I thought it was well filmed. I thought Hitchcock did a great job directing. It kept me interested and involved. It was pretty decently suspenseful. I mean, Hitchcock knows how to do that. Grace Kelly is beautiful, and she's also not a bad actress at all. Jimmy Stewart did a great job. Raymond Burr. Overall, trying to think if I'm missing anything else. Screenplay by John Michael Hayes. Did a good job with that. Based on the short story by Cornell Woolrich. Very well done movie. Really nothing I can say bad about this film. I really enjoyed Rear Window. It was nice to see the original way it was done. You know, I saw all those films that had taken notes from this. Nice to finally see the original, and I was not disappointed. So, Lane 618, Cody, thank you very much. I'm glad I have this in my collection. I'm glad to have been able to check this out. Great DVD, collector's edition. Yeah, that was a well done movie. So either way, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.